Hey guys, what's up? Gavin here from Line Bros, and today I'm gonna make a video on my favorite movies. And like the last video I made on my favorite music, basically I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna go through some movies that I like, and it's gonna be a range of genres from like Star Wars to scary movies like The Shining. So yeah, I just got a bunch of movies here that I'm just gonna show. And yeah, let's start off with, well, I mentioned Star Wars, so let's start off with Star Wars. And I got Spaceballs there, so let's talk about, obviously, the first three, 4, 5, and 6. And, yeah, they're fucking great movies. Personally, my favorite is Episode 4. And a lot of people seem to, hate on Episode 4, because it's kind of slow. It's got a slow start, but, just the hard work and dedication in the story that they made with that movie, it's crazy. I watched a documentary. It took them 2 years to make those space battles that only last 10 minutes. All handmade, all hard work. They actually cared about how making it look good. And yeah, it just was the pioneer of CGI. And that's the thing about new movies is today, all they do is it's all computer generated. So for example, the new Kong Skull Island movie, that movie does look pretty good, but you got to think that Kong is just a computer generated Kong. He's not real. He's not there with the actors. The original King Kong that was made in 1933, they actually had to make a giant replica of a King Kong, and they actually had to stop motion frame it, and it actually is a good movie from what I've heard, the original 1933 movie. But anyway, Star Wars, it's a great sci-fi action movie. The characters are memorable, the story is amazing, and the plot is good, and it's just great. 4, 5, and 6 are both great. I would say 6 is kind of weak in some areas. 4 and 5 are definitely great. 6 is good too, though. And yeah, and now let's go to the prequels. These are kind of crappy. I'll be honest, I don't like any of these really. They suck. The acting it's just not good. The thing about this is supposed to take place ahead of this. And this looks like the future, and this doesn't. I hate how they did that. It confused me as a kid. I used to watch these, I was like, wait, isn't this supposed to be in the past? They got giant cities, skyscraper things, and flying cars, but in this one, they don't really have that. I don't know, it just really confused me. They should have done a better job with that. And the CGI, and not that CGI is a bad thing, but I just really appreciate when film directors actually use props and models. The Millennium Falcon is a model flying on a blue screen. And yeah, I just wish they'd do that with newer movies. Episode 3 is kind of good, but Episode 1 and 2 are terrible. And they're not good, they're disappointing. Okay, Episode 7. I actually liked this movie. I thought it was pretty good. It was I wouldn't say it's comparable to the originals, but it's definitely improved upon the prequels, and it's a good story. And I'm kind of disappointed they killed Han Solo, but they better not fucking kill Chewbacca. I'm gonna actually be pissed about that if they do. But yeah, that was a good movie. I enjoyed it. It was just alright. It wasn't the best movie ever. Then we got Star Wars Knock Off Your Spaceballs. I'm gonna be honest, the movie is kind of cheesy and kind of is not the greatest movie ever, but I liked it just because I'm a Star Wars fan. So yeah, out of all those Star Wars movies, I would say for the original, Episode 4 and 5 are my favorites, and prequel, I would have to say Episode 3. Oh, and Rogue One, I saw that in theaters. That was an alright movie. Kind of hate how they showed all these characters, but then at the end they all died, so it's what's the point? But yeah, it was an alright movie. Okay, moving on. Since we're on the topic of sci-fi type movies, let's talk about probably one of my favorite movies of all time, series. Alien 1 and Aliens, the second movie. And if you don't know about these are kind of sci-fi horror action films. And I just love these movies. The first one's good. It has one alien chasing after this girl. Kind of forgot the main character's name, but it's a good movie. And then the second movie has a ton of aliens, hence the name Aliens. So it's this girl and a crew is getting chased after by a ton of aliens, and there's this like little girl that they find. It was a good movie. But yeah, these are probably my favorite movie series. I actually kind of prefer these more than Star Wars because the action is great. And yeah, they actually made like a really cool alien like costume that this dude would wear to dress up as alien, and yeah, that's just cool. They're making a new one, and I hope it's good. I heard that the last Alien movie wasn't so good. Alright, let's talk about another, not sci-fi, but let's talk about some action movies here. We got Indiana Jones. So I don't have all the Indiana Jones here, but I'm just going to talk about Raiders of the Lost Ark because it's my favorite. This is on VHS, and yeah, this movie is just great. It's really good. It's probably my favorite like action type movie. I really like Harrison Ford. He's cool. He's probably one of my favorite actors. It's just got a good story. It's a really good action movie. And while we're on that subject, these kids in the 80s actually recreated Raiders of the Lost Ark in their backyard. And I have the official movie right here. And yeah, these kids, about my age, spent 8 years remaking this movie. That's how hardcore they were. And it's actually a pretty good movie for being only a budget film. They probably spent like $5,000 to make this movie compared to like a couple million to make this movie. And it's pretty good. It's impressive. So yeah, while we're on the topic of like action type movies, let's talk about Rambo. And yeah, we got Sylvester Stallone here, First Blood. I don't have them all, but I would say First Blood and First Blood Part 2 are my favorites. And it's just something about Rambo. He's just cool. And I like how it's kind of a weird plot, like he just like gets approached by this cop and the cop automatically like hates him and arrests him for like no reason. I don't really know why he went to jail in the beginning. Spoiler alert, sorry. But like he's just like walking down the street and the cop just like stops him and he's like, "Hey, you're coming with me." I don't know. The beginning's kind of weird and it's kind of cheesy, but the action parts in this movie are really good. I really like how he like falls off a cliff but like manages to survive, and like in the third movie he gets shot and he like burns himself to heal his wound. I don't know, it's just really cool, and it's just, I don't know, it's one of those movies like when you're younger you're like, wow, I wish I was like Rambo, he's so cool. Okay, we got another really classic one right here, Predator, on VHS. These are all, I kind of collect VHS movies, by the way. And yeah, I really love Predator. It's a good movie. The newer ones aren't the best, really. Like, the Predator, Alien vs. Predator, I didn't really like. It's kind of crappy. But, oh my gosh, it's so good. Like, you just slowly watch he goes in this group, and you just slowly watch the Predator kill all of his teammates. And then at the end, it's like this epic battle with him and Arnold. And it's good. I've only seen this one in Alien vs. Predator, so I don't really know how the other ones are, but I bet they're pretty good. Okay, on to more like, I guess this is still action. It's like superhero type action. This is RoboCop, the original. Now, I know they made a remake of this, and I heard it's actually kind of crappy. This movie's good. You want to know why this is good? Because it's R-rated, and they don't care. Like, there's some pretty, like, there's like drug scenes in this, nude scenes. It's just a good action movie. And like, RoboCop looks kind of cool looking in this movie. Like, he doesn't look outdated or anything. And it's just good. Like, there's blood and gore. In the newer one, it's so lame. There's no blood. There's no gore. They don't even show any violence. It's a PG-13 movie. And this was rated PG back in the day, I think. Not even rated R. Nowadays, it would be rated R. But the thing about newer movies now, and especially action and like horror, they're all PG-13. And if you don't know by now, PG-13s, you can't have blood, you can't have like nudity, you can't have violence. And this is why I like these movies. Back in the 80s, people weren't so goddamn sensitive. And you could have movies like this that were only PG. They're only rated PG. And they had blood and violence and everything, and they're just badass. They're good movies. Like, I'm pretty sure this was PG, these were both PG, and they all are good movies. They're not trying to shelter your kids or trying to offend anyone. It's just back then they didn't care. Now everyone's so sensitive. You have to have PG-13. Back then it didn't even exist, really. It just was started back then. But yeah, that's my rant about that for a little. Let's go into horror movies. Now, I got The Shining here. And I couldn't think of other, like, horror movies. But I guess I kind of like The Exorcist from 1973. That's a really good one. If you haven't gotten the idea yet, I really like classic 80s movies and older. I really like old movies. They're good. And this is just a great movie. You just watch this dude. I don't know the actor's name. It probably says on there. But you just watch him slowly deteriorate and get psychological issues, and he breaks down, and he just goes after his family and tries to murder them. And it's a good movie. It, like, makes you scared, kind of. And especially The Exorcist, honestly, still scary to me. Okay. Now, I got a list of movies on here that I'm going to mention that I don't have with me right now. The Goonies, that's a good, like, kind of comedy, adventure type movie. Everyone's seen that. I love that movie. The Back to the Future series, I don't have that, actually. I wish I owned that. I love those. Probably my favorite one is the first or the second. Third one's but they're interesting. Those are must-watch movies. On to some comedy type movies. Step Brothers is definitely my favorite one. I really love what's his name? Oh my gosh, Will Ferrell. I really love that movie. It's just funny. Those two actors are great. Oh, it's funny. Another good one of my favorite, not my favorite since Step Brothers is, but Anchorman, another Will Ferrell movie. I'm kind of a fan of him. So funny. The second one is kind of weak because they downgraded it to PG-13, like I've been saying here, and it's just not as funny because it's PG-13. You gotta watch what you say in PG-13 movies. Okay, let's move along to some war movies here. Okay, the first one, We Were Soldiers. I love this movie. It's like a pretty long movie. It's talking about the Vietnam War on this certain hill. I forgot what it's called. I don't know, but the hill, the Valley of Death, it was an operation. And it's just so cool. It's like 3 hours of just fighting, trying to take this hill from the Vietnam, and people are dying, and there's this one scene where this dude's literally on fire, burning, and his flesh is getting peeled off, and they're picking him up, and they have to take him to the helicopters that are coming down. Just so intense, and it just reminds me of my grandpa who was in the Vietnam War. I don't know what he experienced, but gosh, and that dude that I was talking about burning up, that's actually a true story, and it's crazy. But yeah, that's one of my favorites. But I'm going to talk about my favorite war movie here, Apocalypse Now, made in 1978, had Harrison Ford in it. It's one of the longest, it's a really long movie. It's like almost like 3 hours plus maybe. Oh my gosh, such a good movie. It's kind of like, it's pretty slow, but like they're after this one dude that's like killing a bunch of people. I can't even like describe it. It's just so good, and it introduced me to one of my favorite songs, "The End" by The Doors. I mentioned that in my music video, and that's where I found out about that song. Is Apocalypse Now, one of the best war movies ever made, in my opinion. Another newer war movie is Fury. I really like that one with Brad Pitt and Shia LaBeouf, and yeah, I just really like how there's that one character who's scared of war, and then he overcomes it and survives, and all the other people die, though. It's like weird. But yeah, those are like my movies that I don't have with me right now. Oh, okay, on to kids movies. I thought I'd talk about a couple kids movies here. Finding Nemo and Finding Dory are my favorite kids movies because I just like the story. And actually, on Netflix, Finding Dory is on there, and I recommend it. It's actually a really good movie, and you don't need to be a young kid to enjoy it. I actually really liked it, and it kind of brings back memories for me, because like I used to watch Finding Nemo when I was little all the time, and yeah, it's just a good movie. But yeah, those are the movies that I don't have with me right now, but they're definitely good, and you should check all these movies out. Okay, I only have 2 more left. Let's talk about a big series here, Rocky. There's 6 of them. Personally, I don't really watch any more than the fourth. I go 1 through 4. Those are the good ones. 5's 6 is terrible, in my opinion. And yeah, my favorite one is the third one. He fights Mr. T, or Clubber Lang, and Mickey dies. Spoiler alerts. But you got like Mickey, you got that one drunk dude, you got Rocky and his wife Adrian, you got the robot dude in episode number 4. Oh my gosh, that's just 80s, man. And you got all the good music. I had the Tiger, some other ones I kind of forgot. But yeah, fun fact, in 4th grade, I started boxing. Not like competitively or seriously, just in my house, in my backyard. I'd box my little brother for fun, Ethan. And yeah, I don't know why. It's kind of cringy now that I look back on it. But yeah, something about this movie just like, I want to box. You know, I'm just going to go box. Look at me, I'm scrawny, I'm little, I'm skinny. Why was I boxing? Anyways, but these movies are good. 3 and 4 are my favorite. 1 is kind of slow. The first 2 are kind of slow. But in the first 2, he fights Apollo Creed. In the 4th one, okay, spoiler, Apollo Creed dies in the 4th one because the Russian dude kills him. And yeah, they're just really cheesy, kind of. But it doesn't even matter if they're cheesy. Like, the boxing and fighting is kind of cheesy, but it's good. I enjoy it. Okay. I don't even know what category you'd put this on. This is Gremlins. I would kind of say sci-fi a little bit, because it's like, what even is a gremlin? Like, sci-fi is kind of fake fantasy, and it's kind of scary. Like, it's not scary, but like, you know, they turn into that, and then they get all scary looking. And yeah, it's just a good movie. I like it. And it's really impressive how they made this movie. It's just animatronic things. Gremlins, and it's just really cool, and it's Steven Spielberg. You know, now that I think of it, I didn't really mention much Steven Spielberg movies. E.T.'s a good one. I really like Jaws, the first one. All the other Jaws sucked. But yeah, Steven Spielberg, good director. That's all my movies, really. I think I'm going to kind of make a little series of this. Like, I had my music video, what I like to listen to, what movies I like to watch here, and then the next one's probably going to be, what kind of video games do I like to, what are my favorite video games? And in that video, I'm going to cover everything, from retro to new. So, I mean, I'm going to have PS4, PS3, Wii games, PS2, NES, N64, Super Nintendo games, Sega Genesis games, and I'm just going to talk about my video games here. And yeah, I talked about movies here. Maybe if I want to, I could talk about like TV shows. I could talk about my favorite, like, I don't know, sports. I just want to like share with you what I like, and I want to suggest stuff for you guys. I suggested music. Now I'm telling you what movies to watch, and then I'm going to tell you some video games that I like. I don't know, I just like sharing my life with you guys. And yeah, I definitely want to hear your guys' opinion on what your guys' movies, like your favorite movies are, or maybe your favorite genre movies. Maybe you like TV shows. Tell me your favorite TV shows. I don't know. Or like, just what do you guys watch? What entertainment? I really like entertainment. I like movies, music, and video games. Those are the 3 main entertainments you need in your life, and they just make you who you are. I express myself with this stuff. I got posters of video games, got posters of music, movies. Yeah, I can't really say which one's my favorite out of the 3 entertainments there. I would definitely say music and movies are probably up there, and video games are last, but I like them all. But yeah, if you enjoyed this and you want more music, video games, and movie type videos, be sure to like, subscribe, comment your favorite movies and whatnot, and suggest what else I should make a video on, like webcam wise. I like to do this. I don't like video game gameplays really that much. But anyways, I'm gonna go. See y'all later.